All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. I am here with Cristina Gonzalez. Christina is the creator of Curvy Girl Dating Coach. With over 600 followers, Christina helps empower plus-size women to help them to be the most confident in themselves and to help them with successful relationships. Welcome to the page, Christina.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thanks for being a part of it. I asked you specifically to join me to discuss this topic because there's so many dating coaches up there. Everyone's a dating guru, dating expert, but nobody talks about plus-size dating.
Right.
Like that's an important topic because it's very different than just normal dating.
Exactly. There's a lot of similarities, but there's a whole nother element with plus size women that we have in our minds that, I feel that we need a voice and it needs to be addressed.
All right. So with that, let's get started. For any woman who wants to start dating, what's the first step she needs to take?
Well, I just think that, I don't want to say be confident because there's a lot of steps into being confident, but I will say if you are getting ready to start dating, I think that it's important to kind of know what you want, know what you're looking for. Do you want to date in real life? Do you want to date online? And if you do date online, because that's just kind of where things are mostly right now, be honest about who you are. Be authentic, I think is probably the whole long story short that I'm trying to say. Be authentic, be true to yourself, be honest with yourself. You don't need to people please. You don't need to apologize. You don't need to apologize for your size, nothing like that. Just be who you are when you're on the dating sites. You know, don't be like, oh, is it okay that I'm fat or is it okay that I'm plus size? Yes, it's okay. So just be honest in who you are.
All right, to piggyback off that question, you talk about knowing what you want. Is it important to go in with the list of things you want your potential partner to have, or do you find yourself missing out because you're so gun-ho on this list?
I think that you end up, long story short, like missing out. And I say that from my experience. I have this checklist of what I was expecting somebody to look like or be like or have you know, just a checklist of things. And, the my boyfriend that I'm in now that we've been together for 2 years, like he is a little bit different than what I was first like. He's not everything on the checklist, and we have a great relationship. So I think that you do kind of like need to be a little bit more open-minded. Whenever you see like an outfit on a rack and you're like, I could never wear that. But then you think like, let me just try it on and see if I like it. It's kind of the same thing.
Um, as plus size woman expression goes, you get what you get and you don't get upset. What's your
That's
take
right.
on that?
For as far as dating is concerned,
Yes.
no, absolutely not. I don't think that that is true at all. Like you get what you get. I mean, there are people out there for everybody, and you deserve to find the partner that you want just like anybody else. And there's no slim pickings or leftovers or anything, like that. You get just what you want, just like anybody else.
All right. It seems like as plus size girls, we have to settle. We're never going to find anyone. No one's going to accept us for being bigger. How do we get out of that mindset? And how do we teach others to get out of that mindset that I have to settle for you?
Yeah, that it's a long process. Like when coaching with me, like it's all about mindset and it's all about the confidence that you carry as yourself. And you know, you you don't need to settle. Like I help women learn instead of going on dates and having the thought like I wish that I hope that he likes me. Like I want them to go into every single date thinking I hope I like him. And so I think that there's no need to settle, and you have to slowly remind yourself like just these positive affirmations, and you have to believe in yourself, and it just starts with trusting who you are and believing in yourself, and the confidence just flies out.
That's a great answer. um as curvy women, when our experience with dating is a little different, but when we have a guy starting a conversation with us, or staring at us, we sometimes get in our head as, this is some type of negative hidden agenda behind it. Why is he talking to me? Guys usually don't talk to me. How do we stop self sabotaging ourselves out of love?
I think it's the same thing. It's a mindset. Like, reminding yourself that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of a relationship, you're worthy of a respectful person that treats you well, and that you deserve all of those things and you're just as deserving as anybody else. So when somebody's talking to you, like, just take the temperature down, smile, and have a conversation. Like, all those things that are in your head are keeping you away from opening up and just having a conversation with somebody. And it just makes it less weird. But it's a process, but that's definitely what I would say.
Part of relationships is bodies. It's touching, it's
Mhm.
intimate issues. How do we get comfortable with our own bodies before we let a potential partner get comfortable with our bodies?
That is such a great question. Like, it's again a process, getting comfortable with your own body, just, looking in the mirror and not talking crap about yourself. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss in here.
Whatever you want.
Okay. Not talking shit about yourself, whenever you look in a mirror, um, and practicing noticing those things whenever you think negative thoughts about yourself and just being like, okay, we don't talk like this about ourselves, about myself anymore. Like, we're going to say something nice and turning it around and finding something positive to say. There's a lot of like breath work and being in your body exercises where you just are yourself. Like, I'm trying not to say like, oh, where you like feel your body, but kind of yes, you know what I mean? And not in like, it doesn't have to be like in a sexualized way, but like being comfortable, like doing simple things every day, like rubbing lotion on your body. You're like paying attention to every single part of your body, complimenting it, and like noticing that it's okay and comfortable to feel. But I will tell you, there is work in that. Like, um, when I started my relationship with my boyfriend, like, we would be cooking, I would cook or something, and he would wrap his arms around me and like want to like hug my stomach, and he would kind of grab my stomach, and I would push him away and be like, stop it, and because it's my self-consciousness that I have about my body. He doesn't see my body that way. He loves my body and he wants to feel my body. Like, it's intimate for him to wrap his arms around me and feel comfortable. And even though he's touching a vulnerable spot on my body, again, he doesn't see it that way. And I had to remind myself, like, every single time, like, this person loves who I am and loves my body. Like, why can't I? And like, it just took a lot of work to figure out that, like, I wanted to make sure that I'm embracing all the like intimacy that I have instead of pushing it away. Because how many times is it going to take for me to push him away where he's going to be like, forget this, you know?
Mhm.
So I want to like remember in those moments that it is like something that we're sharing that's special.
It's a great answer. But you touched on something, touching of stomach. I know for me, I'm like, don't touch me. I hate it. Push him off. Why is the stomach such a sensitive issue?
I don't know. I think we all have our own issues on what we look at, but I think that that is, for me personally, throughout my, thought work and learning how to accept my body more and more, like, it was something that like um I see in all my pictures. And, like, I noticed that my stomach, maybe I would say, like, stops me from doing things comfortably, like painting my toenails or putting on my shoes, or when I bend over for things and getting up, like, it's in the way. And so it causes me frustration. And so I just had to learn how to think about my body differently.
All right. So it's 2023. It seems like everyone's online dating. What are some mistakes that plus size women do when they're starting online dating?
I think that, again, like when I was talking about authenticity and being yourself, I'm all about angle shots and like finding the most flattering pose. But I think at the same time, you have to be honest about your body type, or my suggestion, you don't have to do anything. My suggestion is that you're honest about your body type because um show some flattering, pictures of yourself, not like the ones with the tall angle where they can't see anything, but those are all great, but on a dating site, and same thing with filters. I'm not an anti-filter person. Those are great on Instagram and, on Facebook and stuff, but I think in a dating site, if it's a filter that enhances your light,
Go for it.
great. You know what I mean? But if it's like changing your facial features, I would not suggest those things. I think that's a big mistake, because then when you show up on a date and then you get feedback from that date and they're like, oh, well, you don't look like, how I thought you would, or you're bigger than I thought, then you get mad about it. But why? Because you're not honest. So how are you going to get mad at somebody else about the feedback they're getting, that you're getting from them, when you were honest in the first place, So um, I think it's just better to show who you are up front and get somebody to swipe left and you never know, than to have it be in person. Does that make sense?
Yes. So for my girls who need a little more help, what are some photos that you should have on your dating profile? Like you should have this type of photo if you want to attract.
I definitely think that when you're having a photo, um, like your very first profile picture, I think clear photo, face photo with, again, no like freckles or weird Snapchat filters, no sunglasses, nothing covering your face, like just a real nice photo of who you are, you know, and looking your best and feeling your best. And then your other photos, I think you should at least have one body shot, like I said, but the rest of them, I think they should tell a story of who you are. Like if you like Sunday Fun Day with your girlfriends at brunch, take a picture of Sunday Fun Day. If if you are going to school, take a picture with yourself at school. Anything that you're doing that you enjoy, that you want to talk about and you want people to know about you, and you want to share that experience with a partner, definitely put that in your photos, because you want to give them something to grab, like because you get 1,000 of a hey, what's up, like how's it going, like you want somebody to answer, like to be like, hey, you go to this school, so do I, or hey, you like to go to this restaurant, so do I. You want to give them an opportunity to strike up a conversation with you.
Good, good. I'm gonna ask the question. It's gonna be very blunt.
Okay.
Do men like plus size women? Okay, because in person, like, no, it's not my thing. I don't like it. But then the DM say something very different.
Yes, guys, they do. Again, my boyfriend has never been with a non plus size woman ever, and he's not a plus size fetish person. I just saw a TikTok today actually, that there was a man, and he's with a plus size woman, and he was talking about the difference between a plus size preference versus a plus size fetish. So yes, there are people that want to date plus size women. They are out there, I promise. They are good people. They just want every bit of you. There are Facebook groups out that, support like curvy men and women. And it's just a great environment to be around, because it really boosts your confidence, definitely, for sure. I don't know if I'm allowed to say any things. I don't get paid for it or anything.
Whatever you want. No one's getting paid for this.
Yeah.
But why do men hide the fact that they like plus size women?
I think because society tells us that we need to like thinner women, or, blonde women, or, tall, skinny women. I think that they don't want to be part of, like, just, they don't want to be different. They want to follow what everybody is. And, those people, like, if they don't want to be honest about who that they are and authentic about who they are, is that really somebody that you want to be with? You know, because they're just not honest with themselves, and they don't want to speak up and be proud of their preference or who they are, so that would definitely be a something to second guess if and question if you were really into somebody like that that's like hiding you, because that's the whole thing too. You know how like somebody will like want to be with you. It's the same kind of thing. They'll like want to be with you, but they never introduce you to your friend, their friends or their family, and like the relationship doesn't go anywhere. Like does is that really the kind of relationship that you want to continue?
No. I was going to talk about media a little bit because the first thing that pops in my mind is I don't know if you saw the movie Duff, Designated Ugly Fat Friend. How do you
No.
know? So it's like you bring the less attractive, the bigger girl, so that this your skinnier friend looks better, and the guys will.
Right.
How do you find yourself out of that situation where no, hey, look at me, I'm pretty too.
I definitely feel like I've been in those situations. I think that's a very real thing. But again, it has to do with your mindset and just being like, I'm just as pretty as she is. I offer just as much as she is, and like, and actually, honestly, not even comparing, because comparison like really kind of destroys everything. It's the killer of joy. And so, not even going through to compare yourself to your thinner friend, um, and just being who you are and staying in your lane and offering just as much as anybody else could. I think that that's really helpful because, again, comparison is the thief of joy. And, just again, be who you are. And the more that you hold your head up high and just are authentic, people will come and be drawn to you.
Um, like any other girl, tall, skinny, blonde, chubby, brunette, redhead, each girl comes with their own baggage to a relationship. What
Exactly.
can a guy do to help ease them? Say, no, you're perfect the way you are. That's why I picked you.
Well, that that's a validation I think that you need to find in yourself
Hmm.
and to know that you're absolutely worthy of the relationship and the man that you're with, and it's great that he does say those things. So if there is advice for men out there who do want to make their women feel more comfortable, like really internally our validation is best within ourselves, but you know my boyfriend's just very confident about, he's just very open about our conversations. Like I have never been in a relationship where I can openly tell somebody what my weight is, and it's completely neutral. There's no like, oh my God, or you weigh more than me. Like there's nothing, like he's just supportive of whatever I talk about when it comes to my insecurities. And he, you know, lets me know like that there is no need to be insecure about those things. And he just kind of reminds me that none of that really matters, that like we're together because of, I mean, he is attracted to me, but like also because of our conversations and our, like physical, mental, and emotional intimacy and, what we bring to the table. So I think that's a good reminder.
Um, Rejection hurts, and being rejected for something simple as your size hurts even more. What is your advice to women who get rejected, plus size women who get rejected? How do you keep going? How do you get back out there?
I think that rejection, you have such great questions, by the way.
Thank you.
But I think the rejection is, you have to remind yourself that it's not about you. The rejection is not about you. It is their preference, whether you're tall or short or skinny or blonde or heavy or not. Like people have preferences, just like we swipe left and don't like somebody, or, we have our own preferences and what we prefer and what we're looking for. And we reject people just as often, so it's not about you. It's not about your size. It's easy to think it is about your size. And maybe it is, but like, I guess what other people think is like none of your business is kind of what I remind myself, like I, they have an opinion and they're wrong. If they're like, oh, she's, she's too big for me. Okay, well, that's too bad for you. Like you're missing out, you know? And so that's just kind of what I think I have to remind myself. Like, other people's opinions are just wrong, and I'm just a badass, and that's just who I am. And you're just not there yet. You don't know that much about me, and that's a shame.
I like that. You don't know much about me. I like that answer. All right. To close this out, I do something called a bonus question. Now, you are from the dirty South, Texas. What is one spot in Texas that everyone should go to see, hang out, a restaurant, a bar, a club, wherever it is? What's that one spot for you?
Oh my goodness. I'm not cool anymore, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, Houston is just just an amazing town. I would just say anything in town, like we are all about our culture, and like you said, we're the dirty South. We are all about just good food and good music and culture. We have so many different cultures in our area that we get to explore food, and there's such like good like fusion foods and things like that, and our just music is just on another level. So I mean, I don't really have a specific hot spot, but I definitely think coming into Houston and going into downtown Houston or in the Heights area, like those are the places to be where everybody wants to be at.
So to make
And
a
East Downtown.
all right. So just come to Houston, basically.
Yes. Midtown, East Downtown, Heights. Those are all the top spots.
All right. I'm gonna add Houston to my list. I'm gonna take you for your word. All right.
Yes. Let me know. Call me and we'll just go do something. I'll be cool and I'll find something for that.
All right. Thank you again, Christina. This is so much fun. Thank you for shining light on this topic. You can catch Christina on her Instagram, which will be in the description box below. Make sure to join her email listing to get great dating tips. As always, you can follow me at Instagram as Tell Me All About It and subscribe to the channel. Thank you again and see you again. See you later.
Thank you.